Hey guys, I'm the 50s Kid. Welcome back to the E53 project. After the last video that we did where we replaced the fuel pump, I noticed that the fuel gauge still isn't working. And this vehicle actually has two different fuel level gauges, one in each lobe of the gas tank. And when we replaced the fuel pump, we obviously replaced that fuel level gauge. So that must mean there's something wrong with the other fuel level gauge, because both of them have to be working in order for the gas level to actually be read accurately at all. Otherwise, it's just going to show as empty all the time. So I think I found the problem. Let's go check it out. As you guys can see, the gas gauge reads as empty. There is gas in this thing. If you saw my previous video, you know that there's gas in this gas tank. So I just came back here to the back seat, pulled the back seat out, took these 4 bolts out, took this off, did a little inspection, and there's your problem. Yeah, so wiring harness just broke, I guess. So just gonna do a quick soldering repair here. So I figured I'd film it. Okay guys, I have got quite a few supplies here actually. If you wanted to just repair this with like a butt connector, you could totally do that. I just suggest that I insist that you use the kind that you have to heat shrink on, because they usually have a little glue inside that will seal the butt connector so that the elements don't get in and rot out the wires. Let's see, let's get this connector off. Okay, so I should have just enough wire on here to be able to do this. Okay, sorry about that. Just needed to see that more up close in order to fix that. I'm cutting off the tip because they look a little corroded or something. That's why it kind of split apart. So I do have this Portasol kit, which is one of those butane soldering irons, but you know, it's all right. It does work and everything. The only reason I grabbed it here is because it's got my heat shrink in it and it's got my helping hands. These helping hands are great. They're magnetic. There's a part number. No, it's a patent number. I'll see if I can find these. I think I got these on Amazon. They're really great because, see, they just sort of help you by holding on to your wires there. I need to move this a little closer here. Ooh, I might not be able to use them on this one unless I get much closer here. So I can move this guy over, sort of like to there. You can see how little wire I have here. Now, don't forget to slip your heat shrink on. That's something you don't want to forget. You see how I have these ends of heat shrink. Forget where I got them, probably again on Amazon. And we probably don't need this whole thing. We can probably just split it in half. One for each wire. So we slip this on here. Here, let's twist this wire. Twist both these wires. Slip our heat shrink on. We'll do the other one too, so we don't forget. Yeah, this one in particular is going to be difficult. So I think what I might have to do, there, see how they're kind of staying together there? Hopefully I can heat those up and melt the solder at the same time. So my Portasol kit just has everything. It's got this little thing of solder here, but I really love this Milwaukee soldering iron that Milwaukee sent me. It's so great. It just heats up so quickly. I'm just gonna leave this heating, and the great thing is it's got this little stand, built-in stand right here, so I can just kind of set it down. Doesn't matter where, and you know, it'll be fine. I don't need like a separate little stand, and the Portasol doesn't have that. It has like this little built-in stand, this little swing out stand, I guess, but you know, it's kind of flimsy. It's good. It works. I'm not bashing on it. If that was my only soldering iron, it'd be great, because it's cordless, and that's just so great. So yeah, it's already done. The green light's on, so that means we're ready to solder. I can definitely smell it. So it's so great to have this thing and it actually is hot. Like, the thing I don't like about the Portasol is it doesn't really get that hot. It's always hard with stranded wire to heat them up. Hang on, I need to move that wire around. See, so now they're both tinned, which is good. Just gotta get them good. You don't want to leave a little tail hanging off of solder, because then you won't be able to slip the heat shrink over. Now, I used some smaller heat shrink, which I'm kind of regretting at this point, because it might be more difficult to slip that over, because this ended up being like a bigger sort of, you know, 2 wires side by side. So I'm going to see if I can do it, but if not, I'll just take it apart and do it again. Let's see, this thing should be cool enough by now. Let's just verify that we can slip this heat shrink over, and we can. Wonderful. So I'm going to wait to do that until we got both soldered. So, and I think I probably will end up doing that for both sides. See, typically what I would do is I would cut them long enough so that I can cross them like this and then bend them over sort of like this. I guess I can do that with this one. Give you guys an idea. See, you can just sort of do it like that, then it's easier to solder them. So I'll do that for this one. And again, just use these wires to hold them. Get the iron hot again. Kind of sort of rethinking that, because the plastic is there, you know, I don't really want to start melting plastic and stuff, the plastic sheathing. Here, this one, we've got enough on here that I can strip it a little more and do that. Boom. Now we should be good. Okay. Happy with that. And this thing has just a nice wide tip, nice and hot. Does not take long. Ideally, you want to heat the wire up so that the wire draws in the solder. Solder is not going to stick to a cold wire. Harder with stranded wire, but not impossible. There we go. Want to wait till it cools down before you slip the heat shrink over, otherwise it'll melt halfway through. Boom. Now we're good. Now we're actually going to use the Portasol. Forget how to do it. Yeah, okay. There's a valve in the back, and then you get that guy going. Okay. I think it's going. Yeah, it's going. I see the little red, see some redness in there. Do we see it? Yeah. Yeah, okay. And yeah, the Portasol comes with this little, it comes with different tips, you know. This one is for heat shrink. So let's see how that works. Yeah, it works pretty good. Of course, a lighter would work too. Just don't have one. This was handy. That's it. All right, let's plug this guy in. Well, let's verify that it's working first, then we'll tape it, and then we'll button it back up. All right, let's see if it's working. Hey, half a tank. Awesome. Okay. Let's tape this guy up. I got some Super 33 here. Ideally, it would be good to keep the wires, you know, the length they originally were, so that it's easier to sort of tape them up, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Okay. good enough. Plug that guy back in. Very good, very good. Place this back in. Here's a better look at all the tools that I just used. 10mm socket and wrench, doesn't have to be electric. Soldering iron of some kind, you know, you can just use an electric one on corded. Here's a look at that Portasol kit if you're interested in that. It's cool, you know, it's all in one, and then you can just change the tips if you need to. You can do, you know, the heat shrink like I did, or you can just use it as a soldering iron. Works great. Heat shrink, little pieces of heat shrink. I think I got those on Amazon somewhere. Obviously some solder. Those are the helping hands. You know, they're magnetic and they come apart here, so you can stick this onto a door if you need to, or something, anything like that. Super 33 electrical tape, my favorite. These are the heat shrink butt connectors that I was talking about. If you don't want to solder, you can totally use those. Just kind of crimp them, you know, with your wire strippers slash crimper pliers. You can just, this is what you would crimp, use to crimp on the end. So you would crimp in the middle like that, stick the wire in from either end, and then heat shrink it. And like I said, it has a glue that kind of seals the whole thing and keeps the elements out. So that's it. Just a super quick video for you guys. I hope it helps somebody out. In the next video, we're going to tackle those rear airbags. You know, they're leaking, they're pneumatic. I got some new parts in. After that, we're going to tackle the timing chain job. That's the big one. I'm the 50s Kid. Thanks a lot for watching.